Hi 5P. So we're going to continue on to our next lesson in math. Up until now we were multiplying decimals. Now we're going to start dividing decimals. So by the end of the lesson, we will divide decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1-digit whole numbers, which basically means we're dividing a decimal by a whole number. We're not dividing decimals by decimals because that would definitely be harder. And we're going to learn to round our quotients, our answers, to the nearest tenth or to the nearest hundredth place. You'll see that sometimes when we divide numbers, the remainders can continue and continue. And so we're going to learn to round our answers to the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth so that we can stop our problem, because we'll eventually get an answer close enough. And you'll see what I mean soon. Okay. So here's a simple problem to start with. Caitlin spent 60 cents or 60 hundredths to buy 3 small erasers. Show two different ways to find the cost of each eraser. So I'm going to divide this for you. If I have 3, that's my whole number. So I have 60 hundredths divided by 3, right? 3 goes into 0 times, 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 0 times. So I know that each eraser cost 20 cents, which makes sense because I know that 3 times 20 hundredths equals 60 hundredths, right? Okay, let's do another problem. Okay, what if I asked you to do 4 divided by 2? We know the answer is 2. This is like a visual to show you that. What if I asked you what is 4 tenths divided by 2 people? Then I know each person would get 2 tenths, right? 4 tenths, let's say I had 4 dimes and 2 children, each child would get 2 dimes. What if I told you I have 4 pennies and 2 children, each child would get 2 pennies or 2 hundredths, right? What if I told you I had $8.40 or 8.4 divided by 2, right? These are even numbers to work with. You'll see here it says divide decimals by a whole number without regrouping. We're not regrouping. That means these will evenly divide without a problem. So 2, sorry, my camera has flashing issues. So 2 into 8.4 is 4.2, right? I just said that in my head. I know a lot of you can also. But it's going to show you 8 wholes divided by 2 is 4 wholes. 4 tenths divided by 2 is 2 tenths. So here we have the visual, right? I'll show you with my mouse. And here we have the algorithm, the long division algorithm. Okay, it's showing you 2 goes into 8 4 times, or 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, it's just showing you again how we did that long division. Okay, now we're going to start regrouping. Okay, we're not rounding yet, so this is still one step easier. 6.12 divided by 3. If I have 6 wholes divided by 3 individuals, or 3, I know they each get 2. 2 ones in each group. Then I have 1/10. Well, if I have 1/10 and 3 individuals, I cannot give them each a tenth. 0 tenths in each group. And then what happens is that now this 1/10, I'm now going to think of the 1/10 as 10 hundredths. So 10 hundredths and 2 hundredths makes 12 hundredths. I have 12 hundredths, 12 pennies divided by 3. They each get 4. 4 pennies, 4 hundredths. They get 0 tenths. But 3 into 12 4/100. Okay, it's going to recap for you. So 3 into 6, 2. 3 into 1, we can't do. So now that 1/10 becomes part of the hundredths. So 3 into 12/100 is 4. Okay, now we're going to do more regrouping. And soon we'll start rounding. So what if I had 1 of something divided by 2, right? A lot of you will figure this out in your head. But 1 whole divided by 2. So I can't divide 1 whole, but I can divide 10/10, which is the same thing. So 10/10, if I have 10 divided by 2, they'll each get 5/10. Right, so 1 divided by 2 is similar to a half, right? And a half is equal to 5/10 if you write it as a decimal. I like this recap. So 2, does it go into 1? No, you can't. It won't go into 1 whole, but you can divide 10/10 by 2, so they each get 5/10. Okay, there's your answer. 5/10 right there. Okay, let's do one that gets a little harder. What if I had 2 and to give up by 3 people? Okay, this time we're going to round our answer. It's asking us to round. So 2 wholes to 3 people I can't do, but I could do 20/10 to 3 people. So they each get 20 is not evenly divisible by 3, but I know that 3 times 6, if I gave 6/10 to 3 people, I gave away 18/10. Then I have 2/10 left over. So now I have technically 2/10 is 20/100. Again, 20 divided by 3 is 6. I gave away 18/100 now. And now this would continue and continue, right? It would be a repeated fraction. So we're just going to round it to the nearest 10th. 0.66 to the nearest 10th, not to the nearest 100th. To the nearest 100th would be 0.67. To the nearest 10th is 0.7. Because we're using that 6 to help us round. Okay. Divide 72/100 by 6. Round your answer to the nearest 100th. Let me just see. Oh, I don't want to show you the answers. Okay. So first we're going to write the problem. 72/100 divided by 6. I have no holes. So 6 doesn't go into 0. 6 goes into 7. 7/10 divided by 6. They each get 1. I gave away 6. I have 1 left over. Now I have 12/100. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Anyway, though, it's asking us to round our answer to the nearest 10th. So 12/100. How many tenths is that? If I have, let's say, 12 pennies, how many dimes is that close to? It's close to 1 dime. So that's that's what they're asking for. That's the answer they want. 1/10. Okay, what if I had 5 and 3/100 divided by 4? Okay, how many times does 4 go into 5? Once. I gave away 4. I have 1 left. Now I have 1 whole, which is the same thing as 10/10. 10/10 divided by 4 is 2. Right? I gave away 2 to 4 people. I gave away 8. I have 2 left. Now I have 23/100. 23 divided by 4 is 5. And my answer is 1. Now, because even though there's a 3 left, I'm not going to continue the problem because they're asking me to round to the nearest to 1 decimal place, right? To the nearest 10th. So I can stop because I already have my 5 to tell me what's going to happen to my 2. I'm going to go up. Alrighty. This is our last problem. How many times, what is 9 divided by 7? Now this time they want the answer to 2 decimal places. Sometimes a 7 go into 9. 9 divided by 7. 7 goes into 9 once. I have 2 wholes left over, which is the same thing as 20 hundredths. How many times does 7 to go into 20? 7 times 2 is 14. I have 6 left, which is 60 hundredths. 7 into 60, 7 times 8 is 56. I have 4 left, which again, now we can stop because they want our answer to the nearest decimal place. To the nearest 2 decimal places. So, because they want, we need to get that third decimal place so that we know what's going to happen to the 8. Will it stay an 8 or will it go up to a 9? So now I have 40, 7 into 40. 7 goes into 40 5 times. It makes 35. I still have 5 left. So now I have 1 whole and 285 thousandths. The 5 tells me that the 8 will become a 9. So it's 1 and 29 hundredths. That's your answer. Good job, 5P.